Hi, I'm Alexi. Welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna keep this introduction really short because I'm guessing this video is gonna be really long. Today I'm gonna teach you how I put actual cement on the wall. Wait, is it called cement or concrete? I always get it mixed up. I'm gonna look it up, but whatever it's called. I actually spread it on the wall. I looked, I could not find a YouTube video on how to do this except for one, and they use a slightly different technique and a slightly different product than what I used, but I am extremely happy with how this turned out. I'm gonna give you lots of close-ups so you can see exactly what it looks like, see the texture. I wish you could feel and see this in person because it looks so phenomenal. So here is how it turned out. Here is how you do it. This, it's backwards. It's called feather finish. It's technically like an underlayment patching system. This is what I'm using. So it's like actual cement, which is sweet. Learning curve, here we go. I'm doing 14 ounces of water mixed with about like a fourth of this bag. So that's what I'm starting with. I don't know how far it's gonna take me or if it's gonna work, but we're gonna try. Okay. It's fine. Okay, this needs to be, for a leveling agent, this would work. But for troweling it onto the wall, it's like way too liquidy. So I'm gonna add more product in just a second. Right? Don't you think? Okay. Let's add more.
One less.
I'll just add a little more, not a ton more.
That's fine.
Okay.
Let's stop.
No, keep going. Woo! My hand's getting tired. Okay, is that gonna like drip off the wall? I think that's what I need to decide is,
No.
as long as it's not falling off the stick, that's probably enough to stay on the wall, right? This is Tanner and I consulting as we go. Okay, so now I only have a 15-minute work window. So let's go for it. Okay, here goes nothing. So I feel like the hardest part is like getting it into the corner. So maybe I should use a float for that. I think that's harder. Okay. Great. Okay, corner. That corner's done. Seems to be working. I dripped. First drip.
Where is it?
It's like right there.
Just stop.
Will you wipe that up for me? float and kind of smoothing out these edges. And this is only after it's dried for about 10 minutes. So pretty much after I've done the second section, I'm now going back to the first section since it's dried for a little bit and just kind of smoothing it out a little bit. And these areas that have white showing through, I will patch those later after I'm totally done. But I'm just kind of smoothing out any of the parts that look like they're too bumpy or rough. Okay, final thoughts before I go to bed. I am at the point with this wall that I'm unsure if I made a huge mistake or if I'm a genius. It is drying super patchy, so it looks terrible right now. Plus, I literally needed like 2 more tablespoons. Like, look at this. It's so bad over here. Thankfully, it's this far right corner, but I can't tell how different it's gonna be from the rest of it because it's drying all patchy. So, hence why I'm feeling super unsure about this whole project and crossing my fingers that in the morning when I wake up and it's dry, that I'm just gonna feel this sense of relief. So I'll make sure to grab my camera and give you a real reaction when I come look at it in the morning. Here's a look at what it's looking like right now. There's tons of texture. I love that. I love the imperfection. I'm happy with my technique. It's just so hard to tell what it's gonna look like until it's completely dry. But I mean, I'm starting to see how light it's gonna be, which is nice. I like how light it will be. It's really dark right now, and I don't love that. So here's the full bathroom. Overall, it's cute, I think. I don't know. Oh, we'll see. Okay, I just woke up. Let's see. It looks really good. I like it. It looks awesome, actually. Wow. I'm like really pleased with it. Okay, over here is really patchy still, which I kind of knew, but it looks sweet. All right, so I'm taking off the tape kind of like this because I saw someone else do it like that, and I think it's better with that clean line. Look at that. It's not perfect everywhere, but it looks good. All right, here is the whole room. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I took the towel off of this rack so you could really see like a full section of it without anything covering. I'm really happy with it. Obviously, like there's tons of texture in certain areas, a little less texture in others, but I think that is the glory of this technique, is it turns out imperfect, and that's the whole point, right? I'm just gonna give you lots of close-ups everywhere, talk about everything that I can. You can see in some places, like right here, a couple places right here, here, Or here's a larger spot right there. There's also one right here that's kind of big, and here. But obviously that's the drywall coming through, but honestly, I don't mind it one bit. I think it adds to the character. I think it looks really good. I'm not sure why there's places like this that turned out darker than others, or up here. But what I do know is that it's pretty consistent everywhere. There's little darker patches and like some like rough spots everywhere. But just, if you were more meticulous, you could probably get everything. Sorry, that's my son. You could probably get everything to here. And I just think it would maybe take 2 people, one person putting it on and the second person smoothing it as soon as you're ready for it to be smoothed. And that would be their own dedicated job. But for me, I was doing both. One more thing before I go, because I'm sure I'm gonna get questions about this. So I put the cement right up next to our shower, like you can see. It's also next to our shower head. Now, while we're showering, there is no water that gets splashed up onto here, and there's no water that gets on the side. But when my son is bathing, he's a big splasher, and he'll splash water over here. And I'm gonna show you about how much water he splashes and the discoloration that happens. However, there has been no lasting results from the splashed water. Now, if you were to completely saturate it and completely soak it, I have no idea what would happen with that. But light splashing, or like splashes that get on this towel right there, when you dry your hands, you know, because you'll get a splash or two, it leaves a spot, but then once it dries, it's gone. So let me show you the water splashing. I'd say he gets like, is this fun? I'd say it's about like this. If that's like a good amount of splashing, it's lower than that. Like the splashes end up down there, but this is good enough to show you. So here's the splashes. Obviously it discolors it. You can already start to see some of these spots are already drying, and they dry completely clear. And down here is where he typically splashes. These are new splashes I just added, but there isn't any like residue or like obvious signs of splashing from his past baths. Just so you know, in case there's questions about that. If you have made it this far, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I share lots of DIY projects and epic room transformations. Hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you can be notified on my next YouTube video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later.